Episode number 2 Shirt Show. Today we're talking artwork, everything you need to know about getting that design, that idea out of your head and onto a shirt. We're going to go over the types of files, all the different stuff that your printer may ask you, and we're going to save you a lot of heartache in that too, because we've definitely run into our share of things. But before we get into the show, like always, we play our own theme song. Deke,
shall we?
do it!
I know you want a t-shirt. Sit back and watch this show. John and Deke telling Trey secrets and we don't mind, 'cause you mean that much to us. Ain't you proud to beg? You know it. This is the Shirt Show. Ain't too proud to be.
It's time for the Shirt Show, the only show that talks about t-shirts and printing t-shirts. Give me a 2X so I got something to sleep in, would ya? Now, yous ready? Enjoy the show.
Episode number 2 Shirt Show. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate the time. My name is Jon Fisher. I'm the Chief Awesome Officer of Two Sleeve Tees.
I am Deke Barksdale, Chief Bearded Officer, also at Two Sleeve Tees. Thanks for having me on your show, John.
Yes, thanks for being here, Deke.
2 episodes in a row.
Man, we did it.
We
did it.
So this is the series finale.
Yes. So we got canceled. But seriously,
What are we talking about today, John?
We're talking about artwork. So
Very important.
I know you're sitting there. You're in your Sunday best. And you're watching this video, and you're thinking, "I have an incredible idea. I want to put it on a shirt. I think people will dig this. How do I do it? I sketched it out on a piece of paper. What's the next step? Or I drew it in paint, or I Photoshopped something that's pretty cool.
How does it go from here to here?
How does it go from here to here?
From your head to your heart to your t-shirt.
Oh, from here to here to here.
From here.
It's all in the art.
How do you get it out of here and onto paper? Let's start there.
It's all about the artwork. And when you decide that you're ready to print this shirt, you approach a printer. You find a local one, or you find one abroad. Wherever it is, you say, "All right, I'm ready to print this." The first thing they're going to ask you is, they're going to say, "Hey, awesome, send it to me in a vector file." And you're going to go, because that's the exact reaction that I have.
Which is, there's nothing wrong with that reaction. I mean, if you're Scooby-Doo, you're Scooby-Doo.
Yes.
Be Scooby-Doo, Gary.
Poor Gary.
But you're right. You go in, maybe you've created something on Microsoft Paint, or you sketched something out and you scanned it in. You have a JPEG, or you have whatever. I'm not going to go into that, because every time I try, I mess it up.
Yes. And a JPEG, is a normal, you post something to Facebook. That's probably a JPEG. You take a picture with your phone.
I'm not here to knock JPEGs.
Yes.
They're actually great. I did a little research just so I'd be prepared for this video. JPEGs are great for high quality image, low file size. So obviously if you have, all your pictures on your computer, you don't want to take up all your file size, because you have, some other type of format, like a TIF or a PNG or a DOOG.
Yes. You have all that stuff, all those extensions. But you need a vector file.
Yes.
That's what it comes down to. And there's a couple of different file extensions or file types that if you're in Illustrator, or you're in Photoshop, or maybe you haven't done any of that stuff, like we were saying, you drew a picture and it looks cool and you're ready to put it on a shirt, you need to convert it to a vector file. And what is a vector file?
Vector file comes in 3 different formats. A .EPS, which is somewhat of a standard. It can be easily reworked. So if you have, let's say, Photoshop, or you're working in Illustrator, I think there's some other ones. Those the ones I know best, like Corel Draw or something. Corel Draw. There's a few others, I'm sure, probably hundreds of them, that it's just easier to work with, to be reworked Or there's an AI, which is the Adobe Illustrator version of a file format. They've kind of figured it out as far as the vector formatting. Or you have a PDF, take a high quality image, and you can convert it to a high quality PDF. There's, you know, you can almost, I don't want to promote any other videos, but go on YouTube about converting high quality PDF, because they're just like one or two buttons in there you press, and it's actually pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much it. I know that depending on how you do this, you either know how to do Photoshop and Illustrator, and therefore it's real easy. You do your file, and you go on there, save as, and you pick that format. But what if you don't know how to use those?
Yeah, so you drew it, it's cool,
Yeah.
or you have the idea. Now, if you're not well versed in Photoshop and Illustrator and all that good stuff, you need to find yourself a graphic designer, a graphic artist. There's no shortage of them on the internet. And there's a couple of different ways you can find them. You may even know some. There may be somebody that just does it as a hobby. Maybe they can hook you up. They can help you out. The way that we went about it, because he's the only person I know, and I'm the only person that he knows, and neither of us knew how to do it.
We never really talked about this in the first episode, but we're actually in a remote area in Montana, out in the woods. Okay, this is the reason for my beard, and John's trying to grow one.
Yes, we're in a bunker. The end is nigh. But I digress. Enough about our fallout shelter. So you need to find one. So there's a couple of different great websites. And as with everything with the show, we're going to be very transparent about it. And also, we'll tell you what worked for us. We went through a lot of stuff to save you some time, to save you some heartache. And that's the whole goal of all this. So a great website you can check out is called Upwork, and it used to be called Elance. It comes from the term freelancer. So you find someone, you don't have to hire them and put them on the payroll. They just do a single project for you. And the great thing about Upwork, formerly Elance, is that you have the idea. You want a unicorn doing a handstand on a Harley Davidson with stars and stripes in the background. And underneath it, you want to say, I love you, Grandma.
Have you been in my sketchbook?
Yes. I've been peeking. So what you do is you go to Elance and Upwork.
Coming soon on Two Sleepers.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Upwork, and you post this. You log into the account. We're not going to get into that. You know, you go to the site. They'll teach you how to do all that and set all that stuff up. So basically what you do is you just post the job. You say, hey, I need this done, and I want it to look like this, and instantaneously you post it, and you'll start getting people from all around the world saying, hey, I can do this job, and I can do it for X amount of money. And you pick whichever one fits in your budget, works best with you. You can see the artist, you can see their portfolio, you can pick the one that best suits what you're going for. And it's a great thing because you know, maybe you don't want the cheapest guy, but you don't want the most expensive lady, so you pick someone in the middle, and you can kind of interview them. And it's great because you can make that vision a reality for relatively easy.
Yeah, to be completely transparent, that is how we built our graphics department.
Yeah. I mean,
qualifying people. Everybody you work with isn't going to be perfect. I've never had a bad experience on Elance Upwork.
Yeah.
But you can find really, really amazing people on there.
Insanely talented. And our guy Rio, shout out. Rio is just incredible. And he's got a great eye for design, and he fills in a lot of the holes that we may have. And there's plenty of stories that maybe one day we'll share where we sent a sketch on a Post-it note that we took with a picture with our camera. This is actually kind of a cool story. And we sent that to him with some instructions, and Rio comes back with the most amazing design that ended up on one of our shirts. It ended up being the armbar shirt, which was one of our first shirts, and it was just an incredible thing to see it come to life. So that's what you can do. You don't need to feel like oh man, now I got to spend 80 hours and learn how to do Photoshop. What am I gonna? I'm never gonna do this. It doesn't need to happen. You know, you can very easily cut through that and get your design out there. And this is the great part. This is probably my favorite part. Is in communicating with the artist, you can tell them, I'm printing this on a T-shirt. I need it to be in vector format. I need it. This is what the printer wants. They want it in. Yeah. So you can have all that done, and a lot of them have experience doing shirt designs, so they're going to know, okay, how many colors, how many this, how large do you want the image? And in a later video, we'll touch on that, because colors, the amount of colors, especially with screen printing, are absolutely one of the most crucial things you have to think about, because it affects your price.
I think it's very important if you found this video because you're looking for a way to get your idea for design, to get the artwork. It's very important if you do find someone on a site like this that you make sure that they know about how it works in the printing side as far as colors. And if you don't, if that makes you a little nervous because we haven't gotten to that video yet, we're only on episode 2, keep it very simple. Solid color, and it can't be blends into, red to
yeah, you can't have
fuchsia or whatever.
Yeah, just think of it differently than you would as a painting on the wall.
Here's a good way to think about it. If you're doing screen printing, you got to think every color is painted on that shirt.
Yeah, individually.
Individually. So it's one red goes on top. This is a bad example, it's just black.
I got 3 here.
Here you go. So this is probably a 5-color shirt. So they have a screen that has this Anderson right here in this, we'll say black. It's kind of faded, so it's hard to tell. Painted black. Then the orange, painted orange. And there's some distress things we did with the image here. That's basically how it works. You got to think of it in solid colors and not, oh, I love the way this fades into this.
Yeah.
You can do that in digital printing, but when you're thinking screen printing, you really got to think that way.
And we'll touch on that too. That'll be another one. The pros, the cons, digital. So that's something to absolutely think about. So that's, to be 100% honest, that's the easiest way. Don't let that idea die in your head because you don't know, because you don't have mad Photoshop skills. There's somebody out there that is insanely talented. It's what they do for a living. Let them do it. Figure out a budget you want. Figure out what you want to accomplish with that, and absolutely let them do it. You can get it done in a fraction of the time. Our guy Rio, it's days, that we can have a design from a sketch on a post-it note taken with an iPhone and emailed to him to a fully finished design, which is incredible, because if I tried to just draw that, it'd be months, and it would look like crap.
That's right.
Yeah.
If you are a little weary about going to a site like that, trying to qualify your own people, reach out to us.
Yeah, hit us up. I mean, that's what we do. We're here to help you, to provide a ton of value to you. And if it's something you're interested in doing and you don't want to mess with it, like Deke was saying, hit us up. That's what we do. We can help you out. We can come up with some cool designs for you, and we can absolutely work together as well.
I love it.
Yeah. So,
should we recap?
Yeah. So, the type of file.
You're looking at, you go walk into a printer first time. You got your image or your idea. What format of vector? EPS, AI, PDF. That's the most important thing right there, as far as getting the ball started, getting the ball rolling with whichever route you go with a graphic designer. If you also go into graphic design and you're wanting to figure out how to get that image or that sketch into a graphic that is a vector format, then you want to go to Upwork.
Or that's 99
Contact
Designs is another good one. It's a bit more expensive. We've never done it, but that's one I've heard battered around about. Or hit us up. Absolutely, do not be afraid to email us. We would love to help you clear all that stuff up. Like we were saying, like we can't say enough, we've gone through this so many times. We've been laughed in our face. We've almost come to blows with printers plenty of time. We don't want that for you. We did that. You don't need to do that.
We did that for you so that you would not have to.
Yes, we're looking out for you. So vector file, think about that. Think about the amount of colors. Like we said, we'll touch on that. But like Deke's saying, when you screen print, every screen is a different color, so it gets done once at a time. So that will absolutely affect your price. And printers, a lot of them are small shops, and the person that you go up and you give your design to is the same person that's going to put it on the shirt. They're busy, to be 100% honest, they're super busy, and a lot of them are, and they don't want to mess with someone who maybe doesn't know what they're doing.
That's right. We'll touch on this. I think this would be a great, maybe even the next video.
Sure.
When you're thinking about what does it cost to do a shirt, there's three things. The type of shirt, which if you haven't watched episode 1 of SHIrT Show, go back and watch it.
Click here. Just kidding. We still don't know how to do that.
No. If anyone out there knows how to do that, give me a shout.
Make a YouTube video on how to do that. We'll watch it.
The type of shirt obviously plays a big part because there's all varying costs there. The second part of it is obviously the quantity, how many you can print. There's a lot we'll go into on that. But the third thing is how many colors are in your design, because a separate screen has to be made for every color. You might think it's just a circle, but if there's 7 colors in that circle, the screen has to be printed, it has to run through, somebody has to throw the paint, throw the color on there.
And some printers will limit it. I mean, they'll limit because they're in the production business. They're not in the let's make one shirt business.
Yeah, and there's always, I say always, we'll talk about that in a future episode as well, about if you just want one shirt because you think it's cool, how you can do that. I know our first shirt we had made on from a printer that would do that. It's a digital print. We'll get into that just to see if it would sell. So that's probably another good future episode. But
yeah, lots to talk about.
That's right.
So SHIrT Show number 2 in the books. Please, if you have any questions, any comments, concerns, you can comment below. Like our Facebook page, Two Sleek Tees. Check us out on Twitter. We don't ever post anything, but we're going to start because we love you. And if you want to get in touch with us, customer service at twosleektees.com. It's the number 2. You'll see it all over in the show notes and all that stuff, twosleektees.com. If you'd like to email me, jfisher, jfisher at twosleektees.com.
Email me at dbarksdale, BARKSDALE at twosleektees.com.
And like we say at every show, let's close up that show! We just made that up. Dick, play us out.
What do you want to hear, John? I know every song ever recorded.
Play me.
Oh, Ain't Too Proud to Beg.
Yeah! I know you want a t-shirt, and you just watch this funny show. I don't know the words to that. Next time, thank you. Bye. Love you. See you soon. Let's talk.